Be vegan, repentant, save your soul.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programas offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Műsoraink sok nyelvet tartalmaznak. Kérjük, tekintse meg itt suprememastertv.com/schedule.
There are things of which the mind understands one part, but remains ignorant of the other. And when man is able to comprehend certain things, it does not follow that he must be able to comprehend everything. Please continue watching to hear the wisdom of medieval Jewish philosopher and rabbi Moses Maimonides, vegetarian.
The friendly citizens of impressive Russia like to greet kind visitors like you with "Хорошего дня." This translates to "Have a nice day" in Russian. Radiant viewers, I am Maxim. The compassionate people of Russia congratulate you for all your good qualities and virtues. May you bathe in celestial light always. Welcome to Beyond Human Perception, from the Guide for the Perplexed by Maimonides, vegetarian, part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Maimonides, also known as Harambam or Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, was a notable medieval Jewish philosopher, astronomer, physician, and intellectual figure. Born into a prominent family in Spain, Maimonides' path eventually led him to Morocco and Palestine until he finally settled in Egypt, in Al-Fustat near Cairo. Shortly after moving to Egypt, life-changing events prompted him to start his practice as a physician. It was not long before Maimonides became renowned in the area and became the personal physician to the Sultan Saladin, a famous Muslim military leader. He also tended to other patients, lectured before fellow physicians, and became a leader of the Jewish community, teaching and helping its members. Famous works by Maimonides include Mishnah Torah, a commentary on the Talmud, and the Guide for the Perplexed, philosophical discussions regarding theological matters. A revered pillar of the Jewish world, Rabbi Moses ben Maimon also had a significant influence on some great medieval writers and thinkers, such as Baruch Spinoza and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, and made an important impact on the medical science archives. We will now read a selection from Part 1, chapters 27 and 31. In Rabbi Moses ben Maimon's book, The Guide for the Perplexed, the rabbi elaborates on the corporal reality and manifestation of the divine, as well the comprehension ability of the human mind. Chapter 27. Onkelos the proselyte, who was thoroughly acquainted with the Hebrew and Chaldaic languages, made it his task to oppose the belief in God's corporal reality. Accordingly, any expression employed in the Pentateuch in reference to God, and in any way implying corporeality, he paraphrases in consonance with the context. All expressions denoting any mode of emotion are explained by him to mean the appearance or manifestation of a certain light that had been created for the occasion, namely the Shekinah, divine presence, or providence. Thus he paraphrases, "The Lord will come down, the Lord will manifest himself, and God came down, and God manifested himself," and does not say, "And God came down, I will go down now and see." He paraphrases, "I will manifest myself now and see." This is his rendering of the verb yarad. He went down when used in reference to God throughout his version, with the exception of the following passage: "I will go down with thee into Egypt." which he renders literally. A remarkable proof of this great man's talents, the excellence of his version, and the correctness of his interpretation. By this version, he discloses to us an important principle as regards prophecy. This narrative begins, "And God spoke unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob, etc. And he said, I am God, etc. I will go down with thee into Egypt." Seeing that the whole narrative is introduced as a vision of the night, Onkelos did not hesitate to translate literally the words addressed to Jacob in the nocturnal vision, and thus gave a faithful account of the occurrence. For the passage in question contains a statement of what Jacob was told, not what actually took place, as is the case in the words, "And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai." Here we have an account of what actually occurred in the physical world. The verb yarad is therefore paraphrased, "He manifested himself," and entirely detached from the idea of motion. Accounts of what happened in the imagination of man, I mean of what he was told, are not altered, a most remarkable distinction. Hence you may infer that there is a great difference between a communication, designated as having been made in a dream, or a vision of the night, and a vision or a manifestation simply introduced with phrases like, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying," "And the Lord spoke unto me, saying." According to my opinion, it is also possible that Onkelos understood Elohim, God, in the above passage to signify angel, and that for this reason he did not hesitate to translate literally, "I will go down with thee to Egypt." Do not think it strange that Onkelos should have believed the Elohim, who said to Jacob, "I am God, the God of thy father," to be an angel, for this sentence can, in the same form, also have been spoken by an angel. Thus Jacob says, "And the angel of God spoke unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I," etc., and concludes the report of the angel's words to him in the following way: "I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointed the pillar, and where thou vowed a vow unto me," although there is no doubt that Jacob vowed to God, not to the angel. It is the usual practice of prophets to relate words addressed to them by an angel in the name of God, as though God himself had spoken to them. Such passages are all to be explained by supplying the nomen regens, and by considering them as identical with, "I am the messenger of God of thy father, I am the messenger of God who appeared to thee in Bethel," and the like. Chapter 31. Know that for the human mind there are certain objects of perception which are within the scope of its nature and capacity. On the other hand, there are amongst things which actually exist certain objects which the mind can in no way and by no means grasp. The gates of perception are closed against it. Further, there are things of which the mind understands one part but remains ignorant of the other. And when man is able to comprehend certain things, it does not follow that he must be able to comprehend everything. This also applies to the senses. They are able to perceive things, but not at every distance, and all other powers of the body are limited in a similar way. How individuals of the same species surpass each other in these sensations and in other bodily faculties is universally known, but there is a limit to them, and their power cannot extend to every distance or to every degree. All this is applicable to the intellectual faculties of man. There is a considerable difference between one person and another as regards these faculties, as is well known to philosophers. While one man can discover a certain thing by himself, another is never able to understand it, even if taught by means of all possible expressions and metaphors, and during a long period. His mind can in no way grasp it, his capacity is insufficient for it. This distinction is not unlimited. A boundary is undoubtedly set to the human mind which it cannot pass. There are things beyond that boundary which are acknowledged to be inaccessible to human understanding, and man does not show any desire to comprehend them, being aware that such knowledge is impossible and that there are no means of overcoming the difficulty. For example, we do not know the number of stars in heaven, whether the number is even or odd. We do not know the number of animals, minerals, or plants, and the like. There are other things, however, which man very much desires to know, and strenuous efforts to examine and to investigate them have been made by thinkers of all classes and at all times. They differ and disagree, and constantly raise new doubts with regards to them, because their minds are bent on comprehending such things. That is to say, they are moved by desire, and every one of them believes that he has discovered the way leading to a true knowledge of the thing, although human reason is entirely unable to demonstrate the fact by convincing evidence. For a proposition which can be proved by evidence is not subject to dispute, denial, or rejection. None but the ignorant would contradict it, and such contradiction is called denial of a demonstrated proof. Thus you find men who deny the spherical form of the earth, or the circular form of the line in which the stars move, and the like. Such men are not considered in this treatise. This confusion prevails mostly in metaphysical subjects, less in problems relating to physics, and is entirely absent from the exact sciences. Alexander Aphrodisias said that there are three causes which prevent men from discovering the exact truth. First, arrogance and vainglory. Secondly, the subtlety, depth, and difficulty of any subject which is being examined. Thirdly, ignorance and want of capacity to comprehend what might be comprehended. These causes are enumerated by Alexander. At the present time there is a fourth cause not mentioned by him, because it did not then prevail, namely habit and training. We naturally like what we have been accustomed to, and are attracted towards it. This may be observed amongst villagers. Though they have few enjoyments and pass a life of privation, they dislike town life and do not desire its pleasures, preferring the things to which they are accustomed to the things to which they are strangers. It would give them no satisfaction to live in palaces and to indulge in baths, ointments, and perfumes. Charitable viewers, we thank you for your pleasant company. For today's words of wisdom, please join us again tomorrow for part 2 of this program. May your hearts experience the nobility and love of the heavens as you remember your soul's lightness.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Vegan for total peace.